Folks, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed right now. Amazing PDL season ends with this final showdown between the Dallas Dragapults and the Varsity Farm Boys, but we are kind of getting off on the wrong foot, unfortunately, because I paid close attention to the players' scheduling, and I tried on this fine Sunday morning to watch the set live and record live commentary. Unfortunately, I noticed in the middle of Game 1 that OBS didn't seem to be picking up audio, and sure enough, I confirmed after Game 1, as they were starting Game 2, that I had recorded no audio at all up to that point. I then spent some time trying to fix the settings. They are fixed now, and here we are looking at a replay. I don't know why OBS just stops recording audio once in a while, but it does seem to get me at the worst times. In any case, that also means that I have to change up something that I normally say at the beginning of these, because I have watched Game 1 already. This is not going to be my first time seeing this game. I did mostly bail on the rest of the set because I was trying to fix my settings, but I've seen a little bit of what happens after Game 1 as well, though most of that will be new to me. But Game 1 I watched all the way through, just kind of hoping that my commentary worked, and then it turned out that it didn't. Enough negativity. We got two amazing teams that have fought their way through a tough PDL gauntlet this season, the Dallas Dragapults and the Varsity Farm Boys. The Dragapults have brought their strongest cores, the Rain core of Pelipper, Basculegion, and Overquill, the duo of Hawlucha and Rillaboom that we've seen brought together so many times. It would be interesting to see the Riolu here to boost like any of its teammates except Pelipper and help them break through, but instead we have Donphan. And Donphan, I'm not necessarily sure what it's here for. Well, I have some idea because I've already seen Game 1, but you know, watching this a preview, trying to record my commentary the first time, I thought, well, Donphan maybe has some text to try to break through Garganacl and Blissey, which makes sense. They put in a lot of work last week, and here they are again. And so, yeah, we'll see what Donphan can do. I don't know. On the other side, you have a few of the Farm Boys combos that we've seen so many times this season. You have the Water Spam with Empoleon and Politoed. You have the Swamp duo of Empoleon and Bayleaf. You have the bulky core of Garganacl and Blissey with Bayleaf keeping them healthy. And then you have Ambipom running support to enable every one of these modes. No Sun mode and no Ursaluna this week, but the Farm Boys have so many varied things that they can do that, you know, it's always going to be a threatening team anyway. So we'll jump into Game 1 here as we see Empoleon and Bayleaf leading against Hawlucha and Rillaboom. And notably, Hawlucha does not show the Grassy Seed this time. No Grassy Seed on the Hawlucha, but it is still led with its buddy Rillaboom. And we see on the other side Empoleon and Bayleaf able to go for the Swamp combo if they want. The Rillaboom is threatening Fake Out, and presumably that's why Empoleon protects this turn. But Hawlucha just goes right for a Swords Dance, looking to break through, but Bayleaf potentially slowing that down, setting the Reflect. And in the face of these two physical attackers, you could definitely see the Reflect making a big difference, right? Turn 2, Bayleaf goes Terra Fairy, turns off its flying weakness. Hawlucha detects, and Hawlucha is actually going to block the Swamp combo here, as the combo went into the Hawlucha slot. Meanwhile, Rillaboom knocks a Chople Berry off of Empoleon. So this is very good information for Ninja Meerkat, right? Really scouting well and probing their opponent's weaknesses. If Hawlucha threw off a close combat into Empoleon in Reflect with the Chople Berry intact, then Empoleon could probably take that pretty easily and KO Hawlucha back. But Rillaboom here revealing the Chople Berry. Also a good tech by the Farm Boys to bring that in the face of Hawlucha and potential fighting coverage on the Rillaboom, and also potential Riolu in the back. But yeah, Ninja Meerkat doing very well so far at probing for those weaknesses. And yeah, blocks the Pledge combo. Hawlucha goes for the Brave Bird into Bayleaf this turn, and Rillaboom the Woodhammer. The double up does not KO Bayleaf through the Reflect, and so they are able to get the Swamp combo they don't go for the Swamp combo. They just chip Rillaboom, and Empoleon does knock out Hawlucha now. So after the Chople Berry was removed, Hawlucha is, more clear to attack Empoleon, but it doesn't. And so not only do they not KO Bayleaf, but Empoleon also does KO Hawlucha now with the Ice Beam. So all that setup from Hawlucha didn't actually accomplish a lot. They got a lot of damage on Bayleaf, but that was basically it. Pelipper comes in here. Rillaboom throws off a strong Wood Hammer, does a lot of damage still through the Reflect, but it doesn't KO Empoleon. But no light screen up, and Bayleaf is pretty low. Pelipper is able to finish it off with a Hurricane. Rillaboom takes a lot from Empoleon's Ice Beam. As we see Blissey come in, and Blissey we see has the Grassy Seed. That's a tech that I really like from the Farm Boys. Last week, of course, Blissey brought the Key Berry, which boosted its defense when it was hit by a physical attack. No need for that in this set. You know Ninja Meerkat is likely to bring the Rillaboom. Rillaboom has shown up almost every week, if not actually every week, for the Dragapults. I can't think of a week they didn't bring it, but I haven't really kept track of that. And so Blissey able to get the defense boost without even having to take a hit by running the Grassy Seed. That's a pretty cool adjustment. Rillaboom switches out to Donphan, and Pelipper goes Terra Fighting and knocks out the Empoleon with Terra Blast. So this is where removing the Chople Berry is beneficial to the Dragapult. Pelipper also takes a Thunder pretty well, but gets paralyzed. But then we see it's forced out by its eject button, and so Rillaboom is right back in. The Reflect fades, so Rillaboom is in a stronger position now to do a lot of damage, except that the grassy terrain is also gone. Rillaboom, unfortunately, you know, they may even have switched Rillaboom out because it was the last turn of the terrain, intending to set it back up, but kind of screwed over by their own Pelipper's eject button there, as Rillaboom kind of gets back in at just the wrong time. And we see Blissey and Garganacl are the last two Pokemon for the Farm Boys, so we'll have to see what the Dragapults have to break through that, and Folks, I don't know if you're ready for what's coming here, but yeah, the Donphan goes for Fissure, but it misses Blissey, takes half from Ice Beam, and gets frozen. So that's what the Donphan had to break through this core, and of course it could have worked, right? 30% chance. Actually, you know, more than that if it gets a second Fissure off, but Donphan not only misses his attack, but also gets frozen by that Ice Beam, and probably will be knocked out by another one. Pelipper gets Salt Cured. It is now a fighting type, so it takes significantly less damage from that than it would have otherwise, but it's paralyzed and it's going to be worn down, and it's probably not threatening a huge amount of damage into this. I mean, it'll hit Garganacl reasonably hard, except it won't because it drops to a Thunder. Donphan stays frozen. Pelipper being paralyzed is now slower than Blissey. Donphan gets Salt Cured. Rillaboom comes back in. It's the biggest damage threat, and it does get its terrain back up here, but it is, of course, at pretty low HP after getting attacked by the Empoleon earlier. It fakes out Blissey this turn, but Donphan stays frozen, and Rillaboom gets Salt Cured, and it's only going to have a couple more turns, which is just probably not going to be enough time to break through, unless Donphan lands a Fissure now. Garganacl protecting on the Woodhammer, and Donphan stays frozen. So Donphan not able to claim any KOs with that bold tech that they brought to try to break through this bulky core, and Rillaboom will actually miss the one-hit KO on Garganacl here with the Woodhammer and drop to recoil. Blissey and Garganacl stand unbroken in Game 1. The Donphan certainly had an interesting set, but I mean, safe to say luck was not on its side, and yeah, there's not a whole lot else to say about that one. We're going to go to Game 2 in just a moment. I just have to fix a quick tech thing. Okay, rough tech day all around, but now we go to Game 2, and again, I have not seen most of this game. So we'll see what the adjustments are from the two sides. As we see the Ambipom brought this time with the Politoed, I believe the two Pokemon we did not see from the Farm Boys in Game 1, against Hawlucha and Pelipper. Hawlucha, going to try to be more successful at breaking through this time. We'll see if it works out. But it switches right out to Overquill. So both players bring a Pokemon they didn't bring to Game 1. Overquill gets the Intimidate into Ambipom, but Ambipom going straight for a Thunder into Pelipper might not care that much about having its physical attack stat dropped, huh? Politoed lands a Chilling Water into Overquill. Overquill not taking the attack drop implies it has a clear amulet. You can see me leaving here to fix my tech. Overquill going for the Icy Wind. Gets the drop on Politoed, but Ambipom protects. Pelipper lands a Hurricane. It does about half. Oh, Pelipper went Terra Fighting too, I guess so that it could take a Thunder, but that of course means that it no longer resists the Muddy Water, which does pretty good chip damage to both of these Pokemon. Pelipper now brought out by the eject button, but Hawlucha comes in. Hawlucha has a higher base speed than Ambipom. We don't necessarily know how these Pokemon are trained, as an official caster would say, but Hawlucha not running an Unburdened set, I could see it being max speed. If not, though, it has to watch out for the Thunder, of course. And Ambipom also could have a Focus Sash. But Ambipom switches out to Garganacl here. Hawlucha detects. We see the Icy Wind from the Overquill. The way they're playing this, maybe Hawlucha doesn't have max speed. I don't know. Garganacl does show the Moringa Berry there. So while Blissey does not have the Key Berry this time, because they found something even better, the Moringa Berry still coming through for Garganacl. I don't know how much It's actually kind of an interesting choice just because this is such a physical heavy team on Ninja Meerkat's side, right? Like, very often Pelipper is the only special attacker they bring to a set, but I guess Pelipper matters enough with those rain boosted weather balls to still buff Garganackle like that, and maybe there just isn't another item that seemed more worthwhile here. In any case, Muddy Water will knock out Overquill. Basculegion comes in next to Hawlucha. This is where Ninja Meerkat needs to pressure them with a lot of offense. Flip Turn does a ton of damage to Garganackle from this Life Orb Basculegion, but it doesn't quite KO. Bring Pelipper back in. Close Combat doesn't quite pick up Politoed either, and Hawlucha takes a lot from that Chilling Water, including an attack drop. Garganackle going for the Iron Defense. Trying to set up, but it is at very low HP. It could just get knocked out by Pelipper here. So that attempt to boost might have come at the wrong time, as Hawlucha finishes off Politoed. Pelipper goes for Hurricane, maybe anticipating Garganackle to switch out, and it misses the KO. A Terra Blast would for sure have KO'd there. And then, I don't know, it's Ambipom and something else in the back. I'm not saying it's easy from there, but despite kind of losing some momentum last turn when both of their attacks fell short, the Dallas Dragapults had a chance to pick up those same 2 KOs here and get things back on track. But the Hurricane, yeah, I mean, they must have anticipated that the Garganackle was reasonably likely to switch, or maybe they just thought Hurricane would KO and like hedged for a switch. But with the Maranga Berry boost, Garganackle does take that Hurricane from the only relevant special attacker on this team, but the Maranga Berry came in clutch. They get the Salt Cure on Pelipper. Again, damage reduced by the Fighting Terra, but Rain's gone now. Ambipom's back in. Ambipom knocks out Hawlucha with a Fake Out. That is, of course, probably Technician boosted Fake Out into -1 defense. Hawlucha, not a terribly bulky Pokemon, does 41% in KOs. Garganackle is finally finished off here by the Terra Blast. So in the end, it just lasted one more turn. I don't necessarily know how much difference that made. But maybe Hawlucha could have had some room to detect around the Fake Out or something. That Fake Out was so strong. We see Blissey is the last Pokemon. That's not necessarily the worst thing if you're Ninja Meerkat, because you're threatening fighting type damage from Pelipper, and more importantly, physical damage from Basculegion, and you haven't given Blissey its Grassy Seed boost. No real boom in this game. Basculegion protects. We see the Terra Dark Ambipom going for Foul Play into Basculegion. So Ambipom has shown Fake Out, Thunder, and Foul Play using... I don't think we know its last move. Oh, we do. It's Protect. But yeah, this set using its own attack stat, its own special attack stat, and its opponent's attack stat. A lot of different ways to do damage. And of course, Thunder into Pelipper and Foul Play into Basculegion. Really well engineered to make Ambipom an absolute menace to this Rain team that has been so successful through so much of the season. Yeah, Basculegion protects this turn. Ambipom takes, a strong, super effective hit from that Fighting Terra Blast, but we do see the Focus Sash here, not broken earlier in the game, so Ambipom holds on this turn. Blissey with the Ice Beam, sniping the Pelipper, finishing it off, and this right here, turn 8, is where I finally was able to record live with commentary. I came in with almost no context for the rest of Game 2, and this was the moment where I was going to see once and for all whether Basculegion could break through. So let's cut to that. And this looks like it could be the very end of the set, as Ambipom goes for Foul Play and Basculegion drops. This is what I managed to get live with audio. Anyway, congratulations to the Varsity Farm Boys on winning the Prismatic Draft League Season 6. A brand new a brand new coach to this league, I believe, someone who had not joined before, and now has won it all with a strong, bulky, dual weather team. They didn't even bring the Ursaluna, which of course is their strongest Pokemon, to the final. The team showed throughout the season that it was so much more flexible than just relying on Ursaluna. Had so many game plans that didn't even involve that Pokemon. And yeah, the bulky duo, I'm going to go back and watch the rest of what happened, but the bulky duo of Garganackle and Blissey was a lot to deal with. So was the water spam with Politoed and Empoleon. So was the swamp combo with Empoleon and Bayleaf. Bayleaf also able to complement the bulky mode by healing its teammates. Then there's the sun stuff with Ninetales, Vileplume, and Scoville, and that they didn't even bring this week. really interesting, strong team all around. Very hard for every opponent to deal with. They, of course, knocked our Alaskan Absols out of the playoffs. Let's not forget that. And now they are PDL champions. So this recording hasn't gone exactly the way that I wanted, but the season has been a blast all the way through. And I believe Season 7 will be starting fairly soon. There's already tiering discussion going on, and they've sort of done the initial pre-sign-ups stage of gathering teams. I do intend to play Season 7 from the start and bring back my own team this time, but I don't know what I'm going to draft, by the way. It'll be Regulation H style again. I'll have to figure out a draft plan later, but whenever the time comes, we'll be back with PDL Season 7, and for now, that's it. Season 6 has been really incredible to follow, and I'm looking forward to what's next.